Previously on Balls.
So, and welcome our first guest on the show as well. And hopefully you'll be able to fit all these balls in there. How many balls was it again?
We gave away about 420 soccer balls for about 34 schools in Soweto.
All right, and these are the balls that are lying in front of us right now.
Yes, of course. You remember, Darren, you gave me about 40 balls the first time when we launched the station, and I was actually very excited about that. But I must say that, it's a very touchy situation. I'm not sure if we're still going to talk about that, because I still have to tell people that, the job that we're doing, giving back to the community, we need to help each other on this. But overall, because I'm still on the stage, we'll talk about that.
All right, we will chat about it. But yeah, that was our... that was after we chatted to you, I think before we had our official launch, and you were in studio with us and then told us about this project. And obviously we contacted some of our contacts through Mr. Price Sport, because getting 450 balls in one go is not easy. So we thought that'd be ideal to maybe donate, and they came to the party with 450 soccer balls. So the rest of those you're gonna be taking with you. And yeah, I mean, as we get into March, and obviously with our new FM syndication as well, we will be kicking off the Wings of Change too, yes, which culminates from our launch, some of the things that we've done already, and of course our golf day, where we raised some money which we also want to use to try and help those people that need it the most. So, and just chatting to you, Linda, I mean, it would be nice if we can work closer with you during the course of the year.
Well, of course. I think what we should do now is to go back from whatever project that I'm actually doing like now, why you actually gave back to the community. When I approached John and yourself, Darren, and Simon, I said, look, this is what I'm actually doing, because it's a God-given thing when you try to help other people, especially those who are in need. I know what is happening in Soweto. Most of the youngsters, they are dilapidated because of, we're not there as ex-professional players to help them and also to inspire them. So there's a team that I'm actually running. It calls I'm a Hopefuls. I've got 20 years running that team, helping youngsters in terms of education and also in sports. They must get involved. But, the turnout, it was so marvelous that in different countries, they were actually phoning me. That's why people like yourself comes in and say, look, I know for the fact you do have social responsibility program. And that is the key to all of the South Africans. How I started this, I learned from myself when one of the ex-professional players gave me soccer boots. He realized that I had a talent.
Who was that, by the way?
It was Andres Chagachagamponde. He played for Swallows. We actually played for the same team at the amateur level. But what happened, he went first to professional. And he says to me, look, you'll be the next because I can see you've got a potential. But it was more than that. I wanted to help more of the youngsters, because I put my point in my mind on education. But I said, this can work together. It's very easy to kill two birds with one stone. As long as you focus, you concentrate, and you know what you want, your goal can be achieved. But that's what I did in the township. I came to visual radio. I said, look, this is what I can do. Can we help each other? And there you are. You've got all the 480 balls. Headmasters from the different schools in Soweto, they're very happy. And on behalf of them, I must say, I thank Balls Visual Radio, you guys. You've done very much for me. And I know we're going to do some of the good things in future.
We look forward to that as well, Linda. And of course, during the course of this week, you're going to get some of the headmasters together and then obviously do the handover to them. And we said, about 15 balls per school or something? I think that's what we calculated, eh?
Well, what we've done, the scenario here is that some of the schools which they didn't participate in the competition which I had. But because I don't want to segment people, it's not good that you help others and then you don't help other people. So out of these 34 schools, I'm going to give them a ball just to say, look, I'm creating a desire. There's something big that will happen. Get involved. These are the people that are actually helping me, and they are very having a sort of a visual idea in terms of building the society. So if you're not taking the train, you will be lost. So I'm going to give certain schools about 4 balls, or maybe 3, because I've given them, out of the 40 balls that they gave me, those who participated in the competition, they're going to get about 10 balls each. But then some of them, I'm going to use them with some of the ex-professional players that I'm actually using in terms of doing soccer clinics and some other programs in relating to sports and also in education. So we do soccer clinics, we motivate them, we make it sure that we monitor them, we train them. So some of the balls I'm going to use them because they are not my property. It's a property of the company which I was given by Balls Visual Radio, and those balls will be respected, and the value of those balls will be actually referred to the headmasters, to the youth, and say, look after these balls. It's not easy to give. It's not easy for other people to accept and appreciate. But we'll make it sure that people must learn how to appreciate.
Well, listen, just to make clear, we don't want them back. They are yours. So wherever you use them, whoever does own them eventually, obviously the schools themselves, and they'll obviously put them to good use. Now, Knox is going to be heading out as well and getting some video of those handovers and also a couple of messages from our headmasters. And as I said to Linda, maybe what we should do, you can select one of the schools at some stage during the course of the next month or 2 months. We can maybe go and do a show from that school one afternoon.
Absolutely, we'll do that because, there was a school which is actually pointed where I wanted to build a sports school, which it's possible. We can do that, Darren. But because of some other financial issues, I had to postpone that. But I think there's a school that we can use it, for Bold Visual Radio. Look, this is a school that we can start and promote whatever social responsibility that we're having as partnership, myself and you guys at the Bold Visual Radio. We will do that.
Linda, what kind of assistance, if any, do you get from SAFA at grassroots level?
Well, let me be honest with you, Simon. I've never got any assistance from the last 20 years when I started this project. I understand all the politics in football, but I was very visual, vocal about it and say to the president, especially those the ex-president of SAFA, and say, look, this is what we should go with this situation of building and developing the youngsters in the township. But I've never got any assistance, and they just look at me and said, look, we don't want to give in an assistance.
Because the reason why I ask you is because Darren, you'll remember we had a chat on Balls Visual Radio probably about 3 weeks ago, a month ago, about football and the lack of development happening at grassroots level, and you want a top national side, but you're not prepared to do the work, with the younger generation.
And also, I want to add to that as well. We had a chat yesterday to Gideon Sam, and the fact that they can go back to government, they can throw more money at athletics, which is in an absolute shambles at the moment. And then they also will go to Lotto and get money from them. I mean, surely as our national sport, soccer should have some kind of priority if they're doing it and giving money to sports that are not even looking after their own house.
Absolutely. You're quite right. Someone, and Darren, I can tell you, I've tried my best, but some other people, they're dragging their legs. And as long as it's in the heart to push whatever you want to push in building the community, somewhere you've sent the message. And one day, a good person, a good Samaritan like yourself, guys, will come up. But let's not be, push about it when we know that people, they don't want, because it's in the war, that they don't prepare. I appreciate the fact that the Minister of Sports wanted to fund, many projects, especially when you look at the Olympics, some other, projects. I mean, the programs that are happening in the country. But I can assure you that one day somebody will come and help.
All right. Well, we'll stay obviously very closely in touch with you, and obviously, stay close to whatever you are developing from your platform and with your contacts and former players as well, and particularly as far as the schools in Soweto. We look forward to that broadcast. We'll chat to you about that, and just make sure Knox behaves when she comes through to the schools and meets the headmasters as well. All right, before we let you go, let's just quickly turn our attention, obviously, because we are sitting here with the Mercedes-Benz himself. And I'm sure were you busy in working on African Cup of Nations?
Oh, yes. In fact, we were invited by the LOC, very slightly, but the main people who actually ran the whole project of activating was the Sports and Recreation. Fortunately, they've realized that they've made a mistake in terms of not involving us. And I sat down with them, with some couple of guys, and we figure out and say, look, we want to get involved in your programs. We understand you are politicians. You want to do things on your own. We are funding all this program. But it's more than that, because we are knowledgeable about this game. We know all the corners of this game. Those are one of the reasons why our national team are not succeeding, because you don't put a good person out there. You're putting people because of whatever reasons, which are not related to the sports issues. So I think what we could do now with the sports and recreation is to sit down, as we're still waiting for them. So the whole project, as much as we were involved, we were actually going to all different provinces with different Bafana Bafana players, activating the supporters to support the Bafana Bafana. Unfortunately, we did. Unfortunately, wrongly. And some of the things that we've done were actually not for the hand of going forward. But I still believe that Gordon has done a very good job in a very short time. It's unfortunate because we still need to be involved so that we can help him. There is no way that he can do things alone. We want to get involved. We've been telling the SAFA regime that we want to get involved in many ways of the infrastructure of soccer, especially the government, are the ones who should put pressure to SAFA and say, look, these are the people that we want. If you don't get involved, then we'll be having a problem. You'll be funding all the programs and the projects, and you're wasting a lot of money, and we don't get the results.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a discussion we had a couple of times with Lucas as well, where, even when they picked Gordon, we spoke to Lucas and said, were you available to be involved in he's not even involved in any way in our football. He's not involved from a PSL or club point of view, which I think is crazy, because a lot of time people complain, it's like, we get foreign coaches that don't understand the culture of South Africa and the history and how to handle the players properly, because they walk in here from a completely different part of the world. Well, I mean, we've got a bunch of guys who had success, won an African Cup of Nations. There's guys like yourself, Lucas, these not only understanding South African conditions, but also understanding conditions in Europe. So then we know also about what is expected over there. How do you not involve those guys? It's crazy.
Well, it is crazy. As I said, it's just a matter of a person who is a leadership. We don't have a strong leadership. For the fact that there were some scandals on the leadership of SAFA. So that tells you much that we are not going to get involved, irrespective of whatever is happening, until we as ex-professional players sit down and be strong and drive about and be aggressive about, look, we want to get involved. Because everything is being politicized now. That's the bad part of sports. That's why you find some of the sporting codes, they're going down because of we politicize. Hence I say, I'm glad because the minister is hands-on to say, look, this is what we should go in this way. But unfortunately, he's also dragging, because he should stamp up and say, look, this is what we want now, irrespective of what. He should call us as ex-professional players, all of us, and we raise hand and say, look, we're ready to take over. And all these people who have actually been put there, maybe things will change. But we don't want politicians in our game. We want sports people. We want people to be hands-on there, be aggressive about our technicality, and we should be involved. We're not saying we don't want foreigners, because we do have players who go overseas and trade their skills. But what we want is that let's be selfish about what we have, because we are all intelligent in this country.
There you see Linda Buthelezi answering that question and dealing with that the way he used to deal with attackers when he played football. No holds barred. Doesn't give an inch, is like, that's the way it's got to be, and this is how we'll get involved. Linda, it's great to catch up with you again. Thanks very much for coming through. He was saying to me, he says he loves this Friday afternoon vibe, so he wants to pop through to a few more.
Come through. You're always invited.
You're always welcome. You've always got an open door here at Balls Radio. Thanks very much. And yeah, we just feel so great and feel blessed that these balls are now going to go with you today. And we look forward to seeing their final destination and them.
Yeah, we've been hanging on to your balls for almost a year.
Yeah, it's 8 months nearly.
8 months you've had your balls.
But it's really been great doing this with you, and we look forward to doing a lot more together.
Thank you very much, Darren. Thank you very much, Simon. Thanks, Linda, and all the guys. But I even thank you. I must thank you very much again, that we're going to do things together, good things, and especially on the community, because we need that. We have to change people. Remember, I've got a club, it's called Zamao Fools. That means we need to give everybody hope. But thank you very much, guys. It's so lovely to be here.
Great to see you again. Linda Buthelezi joining us here at Balls Visual Radio this afternoon.
This is Balls Visual Radio. Darren, Simon, Kate and John. Weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central African Time. balls.co.za